Writing my 10 books on guitar, I discovered every instrument has a story. My personal guitar story began in Liverpool in 1960, before the term guitar god was ever heard. But in 1960, in the UK, Hank Marvin was that trailblazer. Bruce Welch of the Shadows takes up the story.
We were huge, so Canada, Australia, New Zealand, India, Europe, the British Isles, Singapore, Indonesia, Shadows were huge. That sound, this Hank's thing. So Hank became, I know a few years later they called Clapton God, but Hank was God before Eric, because everybody wanted to be Hank Marvin. Everybody wanted a red Stratocaster. Mark Knopfler had to have a Stratocaster, you know. Kids would be pressed against music shops with their nose against, looking through the window at a red Strat, you know. Hank had that, he was young, he was vibrant, he was playing tremendous stuff, absolutely tremendous stuff. So we had an amazing situation. We'd be back in Cliff, you know. Shadows would close first, because we always worked together, so, and we stayed with Cliff for 10 years, 58 to 68. So once the Shadows made it with Apache, you know, we could go and top the bill and sell out anywhere. And the audience consisted of all men, the big guys who didn't wear glasses but bought some. And they'd all, you know, I'd be on my side of the stage, and half the audience would be sitting going, "What's he doing? How did Hank do that? Where's his fingers?" You know, he had just an amazing. Every country we went to, South Africa and Australia, all those places, you know, loved Hank Marvin, and quite right, he was playing blinding stuff, inventive stuff, you know. So I think he was by far the first guitar hero. I think a lot of English guys, David Gilmour, Brian May, not Eric, because Eric played the blues, you know. Eric didn't use echo boxes and stuff like that. But so many guitar players put Hank as their inspiration when they were our age, when they were young. When we were all young, everybody wanted to play like Hank and have a Strat like Hank. So he did more for Fender, I think, than Buddy Holly did, to be honest. By the 60s onwards, people were looking at guitars and noticing guitars and everything else. Whereas in the 50s, the only person we knew was Holly. You know, Buddy had this spaceship. What is that he's playing? You know, we've got to get one of those, whatever it is. But he's been a huge, huge influence to guitarists for, 60 years, I think. But especially that first 20 years, probably. He was coming up with some tremendous stuff.
Every guitar hero needs a guitar tech, and in the 21st century, that can now be you. You are the best arbiter of your perfect setup, the one that leaves you comfortable and playing your best. All the tools you need are now easily available online, and my books provide clear, easy-to-follow instructions from myself and some world-class luthiers. So if you have any specific challenges with your guitar, drop me an email and I will help. Bruce has many more fascinating stories coming soon in GuitarStory. Check out my new digital manuals with all the setup help you need, now with free professional video supplements.